I'm excited to announce the opening of a new Facebook community for the Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life podcast. And this is to get a group of like minded individuals to get together, to push themselves, to actually hold each other accountable, and to level up their lives. I talk about making a positive impact in the world, and this is how I'm hoping to do that. So if you're interested in joining, jump on Facebook, look for Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life, and see if you can join the group. Otherwise, drop me a DM on Instagram at just.live.coaching and I'll send you the link. How many times have you allowed fear to stop you from doing something? To stop you doing something you really wanted to do and then later regretted it? Imagine turning that thought on its head. Welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that empowers you to start taking back control of your life, to start unlocking your full potential, and to help you become the best version of yourself. I'm Sanj, and today we're talking about a topic that holds us back in life, that stops us reaching our true potential and reaching and fulfilling our dreams. We're talking about why fear and why we allow it to hold us back rather than pull us forward into what we're truly capable of doing. We've all been in that situation where there's something that you really want to do, but then that little voice in the back of your head starts to come up. It starts to niggle at you. It's telling you, are you good enough? No, you can't be doing this. No, actually, I don't think you're good enough. You're not capable. What if this happens? What if people judge you? What if you fail? It actually stops you from pushing yourself out of that comfort zone, which I've mentioned before. It stops you from taking the action that you really want to, because you start caring all of a sudden what other people are thinking, what other people are saying, what other people are talking about you behind your back. You're worried about what it will look like to others if you fail. You're worried about everything because we are accustomed to that feeling. We see fear as something to hold us back. We see it as a negative thing. We see it as something that can actually hurt us, as physically injure us. But actually, it's a psychological phenomenon. It isn't something that can actually hurt you. Having that fear is just your mind's way of keeping you safe. It stops you from actually exploring the things that you want to. It stops you pushing yourself, challenging yourself, bettering yourself. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Why? Because it's something that you've never done before. Because it's something that your mind perceives as a threat. It perceives it as something that could hurt it, that could hurt you and could actually cause you some physical harm. And imagine the types of fear that we actually have in this world. One is a change of relationships, when we fear rejection, vulnerability, change, when we're worried that people may leave us or people coming into our lives. So actually the fear of rejection, the fear of vulnerability, the fear of being left behind, it can prevent us from forming deep connections, and it can cause us to feel isolated just in our comfort zone. The next one is fear of failure. Fear of failure stops us pursuing our dreams, the things we want to do, and we end up sticking to what's safe, what we know, what we've done, and we just end up then becoming a hamster in a wheel, just the wheels turning, but we're not moving anywhere. Even if it's something that we truly desire, we won't take action because of that fear of failure. And then another fear is the fear of change. We're scared when things change because it's uncertainty. We don't know what it will bring. We don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. And the way our minds work is we will always focus on the bad things that can happen. We will focus on what could go wrong rather than what could go right. So then we don't actually change because we don't want to push ourselves and put ourselves in a position where we are worse off. But the problem is Fear is just a response to the unknown. It has a bad rap because it feels uncomfortable, it's unsettling, and it can be scary. But fear is actually not the enemy here. It's just the messenger. It just tells us that we're pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone. We're pushing us to new levels. We're pushing ourselves to change, to do some things different. And so fear is just that messenger telling us that you haven't done this before. Be careful. Be cautious. So when we want to actually do things and we're feeling that fear, actually just remember, it's not a bad thing. It's actually just telling us to be cautious. But the problem is when we start to hear that, when we feel that fear, when we hear the voices of doubt in our mind, we allow it to hold us back. We allow it to stop us from taking the action that we want to take, that we need to take, that we dream of taking, because we think of it as actually stopping us from doing things. But actually, imagine if we flip that narrative. Imagine if we used that fear to inspire us. What would that look like in your life? What if you used that fear in the opposite way, when it's harnessed and then you understood it? It could actually be the fuel that you need to actually propel you into the greatness that you are capable of. Imagine using it as a motivator rather than holding you back, that you actually, rather than thinking, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this, you actually get the fear of not reaching your full potential. Imagine how powerful that could be. It will push you to work harder, to study more, to strive for excellence. It will push you to actually go further and step outside that comfort zone because you are afraid that you will not reach your full potential. You are afraid that you will not be finished with what you want to be finished with by the time you're 30, 40, 50, whatever. You can use fear as a compass. You can use it when you know that you're actually hearing that fear, that voice, that doubt, that questioning yourself in the back of your mind. You know that actually that's pushing you out of your comfort zone. It's pointing you towards true desires, true growth. So you can use it as a compass, because when you're hearing that doubt, when you're hearing that negativity, when you're hearing that voice in your mind, you know actually this is the path I've got to take, because this is a path that's going to help me grow the most. And again, you can use it as an indicator for progress, how far you've come, because each time you're feeling that fear, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. So you're actually showing that you're pushing boundaries and you're making progress in your life. So imagine that, using it in that way. Don't fear being judged. Don't fear failure. Don't fear change. Fear not living up to your true potential. Fear not living a life that you truly love. Fear not being your authentic self. Fear not doing the things that you really want to do. Fear that on your deathbed, you are going to be full of regret. When you start to look at fear in that way, you will actually notice that you start taking action more, start pushing yourself forward, and start becoming the person you want to be. And if you want to change your mind towards fear, reframe it as excitement. Physiologically, fear and excitement, they trigger similar responses in your bodies. So when you feel that fear, what you do is see it as a sign that something exciting is about to happen, something thrilling, something that you're going to enjoy. Use it as a teacher. Instead of avoiding it, embrace it as a teacher. What can you learn from it? What is it trying to tell you about your desires, your aspirations, your potential? Yeah, and then when you're feeling that fear, break it down into actionable steps. It may seem overwhelming when it's viewed as a whole, but when again, it's because it's change. So if you're looking at it as a big thing, as a massive step, remember that you can't start on level 10. You can't jump up to step number 10. Break it down into step 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will make the fear disappear. It will make it seem more manageable because it makes the journey less daunting. And again, I say it a lot, cultivate that growth mindset, because when you're in a fixed mindset, you will see challenges as a negative thing. As a growth mindset, you will see them as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles. Fear is not a barrier, it's a stepping stone. So each moment of fear is an invitation to redefine yourself, to become a better version of you. And it's to stretch yourself beyond what you actually thought you were capable of. So embrace your fear, let it inspire you, and see how it can propel you towards a life that you've always envisioned, the life you've always dreamed of, the life that you have always desired. So thank you for joining me today. And if you enjoyed this episode and got something from it, please let me know by leaving a comment below. My mission is just to have a positive impact on this world, and I sincerely hope that you can help me do that by liking, by following and sharing this podcast with others. Remember, your mindset, it shapes your reality. When you master it, you will master your life. Thank you.